the big story that we're tracking for you this evening. Those are images that we're getting to you from the Bandra Station in Mumbai, where protesters have gathered. These are migrant labor, we're given to understand, who gathered to protest against the extension of the lockdowns. Those are pictures that we're getting to you from the Bandra Station in Mumbai, where there were thousands who gathered to protest the extension of the lockdown. My colleague Saurabh joining us with the details. Saurabh, what happened?
Well, this is, of course, a gathering that's completely in contravention of the lockdown rules in Mumbai, and that is something that perhaps the police will have to deal with. Now, given the fact that the corona pandemic in Mumbai is something that has seen alarming proportions, given the number of cases in Mumbai are among the highest in the city, in the country as far as cities are concerned, there is no scope for any letting down of the guard, especially when it comes to the lockdown rules. But then there is another argument as well. Where do the migrant laborers go? Now, we are being given to understand at this point that they were migrant laborers who had gathered, who wanted to go back home. But there is a lockdown. There are no trains to go back home. So there is really no possibility of them going back home. And the police say that at this point of time, a protest like these in contravention, in defiance of the lockdown rules, is something that's only going to aggravate the problem. So this is, of course, an irony that, we will have to deal with. And then, of course, the bigger challenge for the police here is, remember, the law and order challenge. Now, this is something that there are so many clusters like these.
The question very simply is, at a time when there are over 300 containment zones in Mumbai, I mean, how could the law and order machinery completely fail at a certain level? How are so many people allowed to congregate in one place? And this is Bandra Station we're talking about. It's not some far obscure corner, and it's a busy junction in Bombay. Despite all the curbs, how are these people allowed to get out?
Well, Bandra Station is surrounded by slums, and a lot of migrant labor lives in these slums. So it is possible they just came out of their homes, decided to come out on the street, cross the railway bridge and come out. That is absolutely possible. And there are slums on both sides, on the eastern side and also on the western side. So if you see the Lathicharged visuals, they seem to be disappearing back into the slums. So it's in all possibility they came out from their homes, which is in the slums. Now, Bandra Station is surrounded by slums, like I mentioned. And it's very easy to access this part that you see in the visuals. So in all likelihood, these are people who didn't gather from anywhere, but rather just congregated by simply coming out of their homes and going to the nearest.
What we have on our screens right now are the visuals of the lathi charge that you just mentioned. So what we're essentially seeing on our screens right now is the crowds being dispersed. So thousands gathered at the Bandra Station. They were protesting against the extension of the lockdown. Of course, heavy crackdown by the Mumbai police there. We can see the crowds being dispersed, lathis being charged there. But what prompted this gathering? Was it an organized gathering? What exactly happened?
The police say they're investigating. Now, clearly a gathering as, precise as this needs some level of organization. It's not that people randomly gathered. So, in a lockdown, who organized this is something that the police will obviously investigate. They will have to investigate. And that is, of course, something that the police will do, they say. What we are being given to understand by our sources in the police at this point is that these are people who live nearby. They're from the slums in the vicinity, and some of them are migrant laborers, some of them are locals, but who also are poor. And this is clearly in contravention of the lockdown rules. So the police would not allow a gathering like this.
Right.
So if you have a huge crowd coming out of a slum, the police will need some time to mobilize.
But Saurabh, what were these people demanding? Were they demanding to be sent back to their villages? Are we sure these were migrant workers who wanted to go back? Were they demanding food? What is it that they were demanding? What led to this congregation?
At this point, we're being given to understand that these are migrant laborers who simply wanted to go back home, saying they've run out of food and they've run out of supplies. Now, the police have assured supplies in each and every locality, so has the PMC. But again, this is Mumbai. The problems here are unique. The problems here are, mostly difficult to understand for most people. Now, here is a slum that would perhaps have a population of the thousands that you see on that station concourse, and it's very easy. It's just a matter of minutes for them to come out and congregate. It would take one call around the slum to get these people out on the streets.